Welcome to our exploration of money as a form of energy. This concept, though seemingly abstract, holds profound implications for how we view wealth and abundance. Money as energy. Let it flow and multiply your abundance. It's curious how money holds a unique power in our society. Money has a power that very few other concepts share. It is not just a means to acquire things. It becomes an emblem of success, control, and for many, security. Some see it as a symbol of power, others as an object of worship. But what happens when money stops being just a medium of exchange and transforms into energy? An energy that flows but gets interrupted when we fail to share or balance it. The attitude of those who cling to money with an intensity that could make an octopus seem indifferent to its prey is neither an isolated nor a random phenomenon. In fact, behind this need to retain wealth lies a psychological and spiritual enigma worth unraveling. In this video, we will explore how money, when it becomes a tense and static energy, affects not only our emotional lives but also our ability to connect with others. Most importantly, we will discuss how to transform this energy to restore lost balance. Money, energy in motion. From a spiritual perspective, money is energy in constant motion. Just as water flows and renews itself when it does not stagnate, money behaves similarly and requires the same dynamism. When we see it only as a tool for survival or well-being, we may fall into the trap of believing it must be preserved at all costs. But like any energy, money needs to circulate and be given in order to return to us in various forms. When we hold on to it tightly, we block its flow. What happens when we interrupt this cycle of giving and receiving? American writer and philosopher Lynne, author of The Soul of Money, reminds us, money is energy that follows the paths of our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. If we see it as a source of fear, we will create scarcity, but if we see it as a source of opportunity and abundance, we will attract it into our lives. This idea leads us to an important reflection. The fear of losing what we have may be one of the deepest reasons behind our inability to let go. When we struggle to share or let go of money, it is likely that an underlying fear of scarcity is at play. This fear is not just about lacking material resources. It stems from a deep-seated belief that if we give something away, we will not receive anything in return, or we will suffer a loss. At its most primitive level, it is the fear that the flow of abundance we desperately need will come to a halt. Herein lies the paradox. The more we try to hold on to money, the harder it becomes to receive. Emotional and psychological connections to money can deeply influence our financial behaviors and decisions. The way we perceive and interact with money often reflects our inner emotional state, past experiences, and psychological conditioning. Understanding these connections can help us transform our relationship with money, leading to a more abundant and fulfilling life. Like emotions, money needs to flow. Spiritual psychologists agree that when we interrupt this flow, we not only block money, but also emotional and energetic abundance in our lives. This creates a vicious cycle in which we feel that what we give does not return, and what we receive feels like a burden, a kind of debt, leading us to close ourselves off, further hindering the reciprocal act of receiving. People with this mindset may feel that every generous action from others is a debt or obligation, rather than a gift. As philosopher and writer Schweitzer once said, "Happiness is nothing more than good health and a bad memory." For many, memory becomes an enemy when it reminds them of past hardships. But it is time to transform that memory into an ally. Learning to live in the present and share what we have paves the way for abundance and connection. But why do some people develop such a tense relationship with money? From a psychological perspective, this behavior may be linked to childhood experiences marked by scarcity or financial anxiety. If we were raised in an environment where money was synonymous with struggle, sacrifice, or even guilt, we are likely to adopt the subconscious belief that money is scarce and must be protected. Overcoming resistance and embracing abundance can be a transformative journey. It involves reprogramming our subconscious beliefs and opening ourselves to new possibilities. By doing so, we can shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance, allowing us to experience greater joy and fulfillment in our lives. As adults, anxiety over not having enough can lead to a reluctance to share, even to invest in experiences that could bring happiness, such as a well-deserved vacation. The famous psychologist Carl Jung, who dedicated his life to studying the unconscious, said, "What you resist persists, what you accept transforms you." This quote is essential in understanding how many people relate to money. When the fear of scarcity is denied, it grows uncontrollably and begins to dictate our decisions. But if instead of resisting it, we accept the abundance of life and allow ourselves to adopt a more flexible and flowing attitude, we can begin to heal our relationship with money. The human mind tends to overvalue what it perceives as limited, but money is not a finite resource. It is an energetic exchange that, when distributed wisely, returns multiplied. Generosity can open doors to new opportunities and deeper connections with others. Social isolation can be a challenging experience, but there are tools available to help us make positive changes. A defensive attitude toward money can negatively impact social relationships. Material selfishness affects not only finances but also creates emotional distance. Those who do not know how to give often struggle to receive, not just money but also affection, support, or even simple gestures of friendship. A lack of generosity can lead to feelings of loneliness. People who resist sharing what they have, out of fear of losing it or not being able to recover it, tend to build walls around themselves. They do not realize that by refusing to share their prosperity, they are emotionally isolating themselves. This isolation can become an invisible barrier that pushes others away, creating a cycle of emotional poverty. It is important to clarify that sharing does not mean giving everything away recklessly or spending money irresponsibly. Rather, it means allowing ourselves to participate in a cycle of both material and spiritual abundance. In this cycle, giving is part of the natural flow of life. It is the first step in ensuring that we also receive. When we speak of sharing, we mean letting go, releasing fear and worries about money, and living with the confidence that everything we need will come to us. The universe is abundant, and we are part of it. How can we overcome this limiting way of viewing money? Here are some practical tools to help shift your mindset. See money as energy. Instead of viewing it as something fixed, finite, or requiring immense effort, recognize it as energy flowing through you. If you share it and release attachment, it will return multiplied. Money is a channel of exchange, not a piece of paper that defines your worth. Practice daily acts of generosity. You do not need to spend large amounts to start. A small action, a donation of something you no longer need, can help unblock your flow of abundance. Giving is about letting go. Identify limiting beliefs about money. Take a moment to reflect on your deepest beliefs about money. Where do they come from? Who taught you to think this way? Are you willing to change your mindset? Make a list and ask yourself, do I see money as an ally that brings ease to my life or as something to be feared and struggled for? Make gratitude a daily practice. Cultivating gratitude shifts your perspective. Appreciate what you have and what you receive, no matter how small. Gratitude changes your vibration and opens the channel for receiving more. Visualize the flow of money. Imagine money as a river flowing freely. By allowing it to pass through you and continue its course, you strengthen its presence in your life. Life is not about accumulating material wealth, but about understanding that everything we possess is energy that must move. Money, like all energy, flows best when we do not try to hoard it, but instead embrace the natural cycle of giving and receiving. The energy of money is the same as the energy of the joy of being alive. When you live from a place of joy and fulfillment, you will begin to feel abundant in all aspects of your reality, and you will notice that financial worries begin to fade. So, no matter your external circumstances, dare to break the cycle. Your abundance is waiting to be received. All you need is a small shift. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps me continue creating content. Thank you so much.